Good morning, folks. This is Deno again. Let's talk a little bit of politics in this one. You know, one of the elders, if we should say it that way, of the Democrats, a very esteemed person amongst the Democrats, said, when the Republicans get down and dirty, when they go low, not us Democrats, not us liberals, we will go high. In other words, she said, we're not going to get down in any kind of destructive, down and dirty politics and mudslinging. How'd that work out for you? Those words are proven to be a lie. Who's the one doing the mudslinging? Who's the one doing the down and dirty politics? Who's the one that is burning our cities down? Who's the one that is murdering cops? Who's the one that is beating elderly folks that you don't even know? Because when the Republicans and conservatives go low, you remain in your position of dignity, and you're not going to get down there and waller in the mud with them. You're going to walk in an esteemed place in position of honor. Really. Wolves in sheep's clothing, folks, these people are. These liberals and Democrats. They say one thing, but do the opposite. And they accuse you of the thing they do as just part of their ploy, scheme, and scam. And what did Hillary say? I mean, let's think of the lies of the Democrats, folks. What did Hillary say back during the 2015 and 16 campaign? If America is crazy enough to elect Donald J. Trump to the presidency, the economy will crash. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to run a nation. Well, all her pious wisdom that she poured into that statement, by the fruits of President Donald J. Trump's labors, she was found to be full of BS. She just made a political statement trying to somehow, get the nation to panic where she could get the votes. But she lied against the truth, because there has not been a president that has had the successes of economy greatness as Donald J. Trump has had. That's a fact. And then we had that professional basketball owner on one of the Tonight talk shows or something of that type, and he says, if we're crazy enough to elect Donald J. Trump to be president, the stock market will crash. Our investments will be ruined. Our retirement will just be plundered and crash into oblivion if we're crazy enough to elect him. Well, he just, shed to the world his incredible wit, which by the fruits of Donald J. Trump's presidency, he was also found to lie against the truth. They were trying to panic the nation so that Hillary would get the votes and not Donald J. Trump. But folks, honestly, what happened? The opposite of what they said. Which is so often the way it is with the Democrats' slanderous tongues. They lie against the truth, and they make false accusations. It is written, you shall not bear false witness against anyone. The Democrats do. They say one thing it's political theater with them, but they don't mean it. There's no substance, no spirit, no conviction. They just move by the whim of their pants. Anything goes with them. They have no drawing the line unless it's evil, protecting evil and protecting wrong. Then they'll wall up against you and wall up against God, take him out of the Pledge of Allegiance. Who? The liberals, the Democrats. Yeah. And what do they want? They want to take "In God We Trust" off the money and remove it as our nation's motto. Who? The Republicans? No, the Democrats. The modern day Democrats, There's a whole lot of people in my family that are registered Democrats, but they'll tell you in a heartbeat they're not voting for Biden. They didn't vote for Hillary. No, no, because they still love this country. They're not stupid. And then we've got President Obama when he was campaigning for Hillary. And he's, talking about, Donald Trump is talking about how he's going to bring all these jobs back to America and then, cause America to be great again economically and jobs. And he said, just how is he going to do that? I mean, those jobs aren't coming back, said the President Obama with his incredible world-running wit. It's just not going to happen. No way. They're not coming back. What, does he have some kind of magic wand that he can just wave and it's going to bring all those jobs back? What happened? The opposite of what President Obama said. His wit too was found to be a lie. The Bible says where there's a will, there's a way. Well, President Trump had the will. And between his ears, he had the way. And it's proven. It's not something that has to be wondered about anymore. By his leadership and implemented plans and policies, rules and regulation, the American people's reaction to President Trump's leadership was so gigantically great. In 3.5 years, the economy of the United States blossomed into the greatest economy in the history of the world, far beating all our former decades, years, and generations. But their media will tell you otherwise. Why? They lie against the truth too. It's all political scam, blip, and blap. It's fake news. I mean, they will lie to us when the fruits of his labors are so obvious for all to see. And here's another thing, folks. He, colluded with the Russians. They all ganged up against President Trump with that. And come to find out, it was a lie. And, talking about bearing false witness, we found out that they planted false evidence against the president to bring forth the accusation. And we found out that Hillary and her cronies and wolves paid for it. But there's nothing to see here. Trump's the evil one. Trump's the liar. Trump's the scammer. Really? And then we have let's impeach him. That also was found to be a nothing burger. But yet, Hillary destroyed 33,000 subpoenaed emails. Subpoenaed by the federal government. After getting the subpoena, she and her cronies destroyed 33,000 of them. They were just conversations about our tennis games and our family get-togethers and so on and so forth. And we just thought that, the world didn't need to know that. BS. And every sensible American, Democrat, Independent, or Republican, knows that was BS. But they think we're just people, under some kind of bewitching spell that can't discern truth from a lie. Comey, after investigating Hillary, there's nothing to see here. And she was guilty. But Trump, the innocent one that they made false accusations against, he's guilty. He's guilty as charged. Guilty, 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 guilty. And they were found again to lie against the truth. And look how they did the last Supreme Court nominee. Pulled up fabricated stuff and other things against him in such the most lowest means possible. But when the Republicans go low, remember, she said, we liberals and Democrats will keep our dignity. We will not get into down and dirty mudslinging politics. We will go high. Liar. And everybody knows that was a bunch of more BS. They went after Kavanaugh just mean. I mean, like wolves after a sheep. Believe all women. Yes, every woman deserves to be believed. But the same rules they don't apply with Biden. Oh no, they go into, as usual, cover up. Because they're so crooked, they have to constantly be under cover up operations. To hide their crimes, to hide their bribes, to hide their pay-for-play corruption and other things. The other deals they've made with the devil. Folks, everything I've said to you is true. And then, when the Republicans go low, they always go high. The liberals and the Democrats, they walked, with honor and dignity. They said President Trump, or Donald Trump, if we elect him as president, he's going to cause World War III. He's going to cause wars in the Middle East like we've never had. He's going to cause all these crazy things to be multiplied in the world in a destructive manner. And yet he has been now nominated for 2 Nobel Peace Prizes, folks. The very opposite of what they try to scare us with happened. The opposite. They said destruction will take place and peace took place. They said he would be terrible for, minorities. Well, the blacks and the Latinos have had more job opportunities and more blessings come to their community through this president more than any other. And that's a fact. No matter how they try to twist it, turn it, or make it, push it upside down, it's still the truth. And in honest assessment, it is the facts. Now, if you come across the border illegally, yeah, we all have a problem with that are on the right. Because it's unlawful, it's illegal, and we must protect our nation. But the Democrats seem to not care about this nation. All these great gains and these positives that President Trump and his leadership has brought to this nation. And this year, we were going to even peak even more. This machine, this positive economic machine was so powerful and so strong that nothing the world could do in economic counter could stop it. But somebody, stirred up a virus, stirred up racism, stirred up Antifa, stirred up meanness, anti-Americanism, and all that together. Somebody pushed the send it button to America. Why? Because when the Republicans go low, we Democrats and liberals, we always go high. We maintain we're not going to get mean, down, and dirty in politics. Folks, do you see the hypocrisy of the liberal left and the Democrats? Do you see it? Folks, it's plain and clear. God sees it. The Democrats are like wolves in sheep's clothing. Demonic. They're telling you one thing, but they're going to do the opposite. It's proof. They're going to say one thing, but the truth is the opposite. They're going to accuse you for what they're guilty of, but think you're too stupid to figure it out. The blood of down and dirty politics is not on the Republican side, folks. It's on the Democrat side. That want to defund the salt that the police force is, that keeps society from rotting by crooks and criminals. That's asinine. That is illogical. But you know what? If you're crooks and criminals and you have a destructive plan, oh yeah, you'll implement something like that. And that's when they go low, we go high and remain dignified Democrats that do it. Joe Biden, folks, has $1.5 billion transaction from China to his family's pocket. We pay him, what, $170,000 a year or so, whatever, to do his job. And China wrote him a $1.5 billion check to his family for a business deal. Who do you think he's serving? He's the one, folks, that said this phony movement of Americanism. We've grown beyond that. And you're going to elect him as president? Obama, before he became president, we didn't know it because they kept it hidden, in his former spewing of his globalist New World Order convictions. He said the world doesn't need an America. But they kept that hidden from us, folks, so that this America destroyer could be elected. So that these people that right now, you see what they're doing, they've been trying to take this country down ever so slowly, bleeding us little by little by these New World Order presidents that every time they got elected, it didn't matter if they were Republican or Democrat, they were already bought. And they had already made the deals with the devil to betray this nation. They were just slow bleeding. But right now, they see their plan is so threatened to fail. Man, they're going for the jugular. But we, Trump Nation, with faith in God, faith in one another, and a love for God and country, we will prevail over their darkness. We continue to call upon the name of the greater one, and we know who he is. We continue to believe that the best is yet to come for this country. And the more America is blessed, the more the world is blessed. Now, yeah, there will be envy and jealousy, but that's always been a part of this world. There's always been a greater than other nations. It's just been part of history. But when you have love in your heart for God and country and your fellow man, you don't mean them ill will. You will use your power and wealth for good, not evil. And this country has done a whole lot of good for the world, although we are so often lied against. No, America hasn't been perfect, but no human or nation ever has, except Christ. In closing, folks, Jesus said to those that heard his words and listened, He said, if the darkness that's in you, you think is light. I mean, you know, there's people that think the devil's going to win in the end. There's people that in their hearts thinks that the devil is God. There's people in their hearts that think their false God is God. And they think that their God is light. But Jesus said, if the darkness that is in you, you think is light, how great then is that darkness? In other words, how great is your deception? Jesus said in the light of this, he said in the last days, people will rise and kill you Christians, believing with all their heart they're doing God's business. That is what he's talking about. They believe that this darkness that they are so embracing is the light, and it is of God, but it's of the devil. He has transformed himself, who? The prince of darkness, as a messenger of light to deceive them. That's going on in the world today. You've got the children of darkness thinking that what they believe and what they hold dear to and what they embrace and the convictions of their heart, I'm a woman, I have a right to murder my baby if I decide to. It's my choice. Well, what about God's choice? But see, they will fight you to the end to stand for what is wrong, thinking it's the right thing to do. When you stand before the throne of God, you're going to find out that what you thought was light was really nothing more than darkness. And what you thought was a freedom of choice was what damned you. But oh, you and your friends, you hugged and kumbaya together, and we have the right to do this, just like the gay marriage. You people that are promoting that think with all their heart, that's right, that's proper, that's right, it's good. It's not. And when you stand before God, what you thought was right and honorable and dear and of light was nothing more than darkness enwrapped in a deception, and you fell for it. Jesus said, had Sodom, who was involved in man with man sex in a way that is forbidden. Jesus said, had Sodom heard what you've heard and seen what you've seen, he said they would have stopped that lifestyle. They would have repented, and they would have been spared. Jesus, therefore, in those words, showed us all that he did not condone that behavior. He said, had they heard what you hear me preach and seen what you see me do, they would have stopped. They would have repented, and they would have been spared. But you march, and in your soul you think marching for abortion and marching for that lifestyle is righteous and right. And you have no idea what that is doing to you in the long run between you and the Almighty. Folks, the liberals, the Democrats are under the strong delusion that the Bible talks of as great deception. If Jesus said the light, if the darkness that be in you, you think it's light. And I mean, you don't see you're wrong as being wrong. You think you're wrong is right. He said, then how great is that deception going on inside you? My friends, she and they said, when the Republicans and conservatives go low, we Democrats and we liberals go high. Did they tell you the truth? Or have their actions proven they lied against the truth? They are never to be trusted ever again with this nation. Trump 2020, folks, and that forever. God bless.